Welcome back. We have Spencer on the left and Daniel on the right. They are going to game number 2. This is round 5. I'm going to give the players the signal, and we are going to jump into some magic. It looks like they may be resolving. No, they're done with mulligans. So Daniel's going to open on Temple Garden, going down to 18. All right. So,
we got two decks here that I think are pretty sweet.
Bant Company is everything I've ever wanted to do. Like, that's just creature.
Yeah, that's right up your alley.
Creature toolbox decks are just my thing, and I have respect for black-white tokens.
I think black-white tokens sweet, but black-white tokens makes me a little nostalgic. Although Lorwyn was not one of my favorite blocks, I'm very fond of
Bitter Blossom.
Well, it was the time when Planeswalkers first came out in Lorwyn, and for a long time, everybody thought they were bad cards.
Yeah.
They were like, these cards suck. They're not good. They're too slow. They die too easily. They cost too much mana. I don't want to put them in my deck.
Yeah.
And then somebody, I don't know which pro player was the first one to come up with it, but somebody threw Bitter Blossom and Spectral Procession and all kinds of little pumpy lordy dudes
with
a Johnny into a black-white token deck that just kicked a lot of butt, and it was sweet, and I liked it.
Yeah, that sounds strong. I know Johnny was playing the Kithkin decks.
Yeah, he was in those too. Johnny was the first one that people really caught on to, and they were like, hey, he's really good, and then all of a sudden everybody was like, oh, hey, Jace is also really good.
I think Garrick is the strongest one of
Garrick was considered the strongest one for a long time.
I still think he is.
Shortly after, it was a little bit after a Johnny came and everybody was like, oh, Johnny's really strong. And then Garrick came really strong. I remember for a while, Garrick was pretty pricey.
Okay, so it looks like Daniel's just going to cast Spell Queller onto an open board.
Yeah, so
he's trying to get...
He wants to get ahead in the air because he knows he's going to have a lot of tokens coming his way.
Yeah, and actually, like, having a flying guy against the Lingering Souls deck is pretty relevant, and with that Exalted trigger from the Noble Hierarch, the Spell Queller's not a slow clock.
No, it's not, and it's a great blocker, too, if he needs it to hang back for any reason. Because all those tokens will only be 1/1s unless he can get out... he's probably running, I'm sure, I'm looking at his deck list right now, I can't remember the name of it. The enchantment that gives tokens +1/+1.
Intangible Virtue.
Yeah, here it is. Yep, right here.
And it +1/+1 and Vigilance.
Right, yeah.
Which with Lingering Souls and Spectral Procession, it's crazy.
2 mana.
Alright, so here's Voice of Resurgence for Daniel. He's going to swing for 3.
Noble Hierarch.
And then play... Oh,
He should have done that first.
Yeah, should have done that first. Then
Looks like Spencer's down to 14, so...
So he'd have Spencer at 13 instead of 14, but that's all
Maybe he was afraid of eating a removal spell or something if he attacked first.
Maybe he had a different 1-mana spell that he wanted to cast if the ghost died. Yeah. Here's Bitter Blossom.
So we don't know what they've sideboarded in, because they are starting off in game 2.
Right.
So...
And the tokens deck is up a game.
Yeah. So we're looking at... Let's see. Spencer had Sundering Growth, 1 Sundering Growth, 1 Fracturing Gust, 1 Hag of Bladehold? I'm not sure if I'm reading that correctly. I'm having a little trouble reading that.
Let me take a look.
You look at that one. I had a little trouble reading the handwriting there. Here comes a Bitter Blossom. And Daniel answers with a Birds of Paradise. I do like Birds of Paradise a lot.
Birds of Paradise is one of my favorite cards, yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm having a little issue with the penmanship on this particular...
Well, we have...
Hero of Bladehold.
Oh, Hero of Bladehold.
Yeah, that's a very strong in a token strategy.
Sense. Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got all of that, and we've got some Stony Silences, which aren't going to be relevant. We got Brenton Forge Tender, which is not relevant.
Daniel can't activate Birthing Pod with Stony Silence in play. Oh, wait. I just made myself sad.
He's got Worship, which means both players are running Worship.
Because Gatekeeper 706 Turtle is 2/2.
Yes.
Going into this round.
Yes, Spencer has a Worship in his sideboard too, so if he brought that in, we could have 2 warships on the battlefield. That would be interesting.
I'm not sure interesting is the use I would word for the warship mirror.
He's got 2 collective efforts, a zealous persecution, and 2 rest in pieces. So his sideboard, he doesn't have a lot of stuff in his sideboard for this matchup, but I don't know if it necessarily matters because he took game 1, which means his deck might just have kind of a favorable matchup. Let's take a look at Daniel's sideboard. He had 3 Reflector Mages, which I did see him shuffling into his deck while I was down there getting them.
Not the strongest, but you may just need all your interaction that you have.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. No, 2 Meddling Mages. 3 Reflector Mages. I'm not sure if he brought those in. He's got some Kitchen Finks in his sideboard, 3 of them. The 1 Worship, which he got out onto the battlefield. 2 Stony Silence, which, again, not going to be relevant. 2 Negates, which I doubt he really brought in here.
Negate's probably more for combo decks. Obviously, you can counter Spencer's spells, but using a whole card to counter half of Lingering Souls doesn't sound great.
Now, here's an interesting card that I would definitely have sideboarded in if I was Daniel. 1 Elspeth Sun's Champion.
Yeah, the minus whatever ability on her sounds really great.
Her emblem gives all your creatures +2/+2 in flying.
Here's Spencer making 3
tokens.
soldier tokens from Raise is the sand card. There's the
Secure the Waste?
Secure the Waste.
Okay, yeah.
The white X make X tokens. So here's 3.
Yep.
One of them happens to be Jace. That's all right.
So I secretly am my friends who have played Magic casually with me back home in my youth, I am obsessed with creature tokens.
Really?
I love them. I love decks that make tons of creature tokens. I probably should.
Your commander decks don't reflect that.
I know they don't. And if I was going to build a modern deck, I should probably just build black-white tokens because I think it's sweet. But
it's also cheap.
It is cheap, also.
Vaults of the Archangel.
Friendly. But, you know, that was like back when Alara was out and I could run the Michaelos and be getting like 200 sapling tokens every upkeep. And like
So here's Intangible Virtue, which means that Spencer has now 3 2/2s with Vigilance.
So good.
Still, it doesn't look great against the Spell Queller that has 2 Exalted triggers hitting in for 4.
No, he can't block it either.
Oh,
but
man, now they're 3/3s.
There's 2 Intangible Virtues. So, I mean, Spencer's got the ground.
He's got the ground on lock, but, I mean, Daniel has a lot of blockers. Daniel may not have to cast another spell to end this game.
He might not. He could just try to race it. But
well, he has Spencer on a 2-turn clock. He only has to attack twice.
I didn't even see how low his life got.
Yeah, because...
Well, if Daniel wins here, it's going to take it to game 3, which would be sweet for us.
I'm really wondering why Daniel didn't attack there, because the Spell Queller attacks for 4, and he's
got Worship, so he doesn't even need to block.
Yeah.
Looks like he pumped them all with...
He gave them all Lifelink and Death Touch with Vault of the Archangel, which is going to gain him
a bunch of life. So, if he just does that, this is going to be kind of grindy.
That may have been why Daniel didn't attack, because he knew he couldn't kill him on his next turn because he was going to gain a bunch of life because of Vault of the Archangel. So that makes sense. And also, Spencer should have gained 6. He should be at 13.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know if he wrote that down and forgot about his...
No, he should have gained 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he should be at 16. You can't miss that lifelink.
Should we stop and just go make sure?
All they have to do is change life totals. Once you just run downstairs and...
He's coming in again. Oh, well, it might not be relevant at this point if Daniel's...
Well, Daniel has the Worship, though.
He does have the Worship. There we go. All right.
Okay.
There we go.
So
up to 24.
Yeah, so he was probably keeping track of it on his life pad and just not updating the dice. So, Spencer's up to 24. Daniel is down to 1, but he does have Worship in place, so as long as he has a creature, he will not die.
And let's see...
So as long as he has a follower...
Does Spencer have anything to deal with Worship, or does he
imagine
he deal with the creatures?
Disenchants or something?
He has 1 Anguished Unmaking.
But he probably didn't bring it in.
You think he boarded it out? I guess he might have. Let's take a look here.
Okay, so... Scavenging Ooze is going to bring Daniel up to 2.
He's got Sundering Growth, which doesn't that destroy?
Sundering Growth is the hybrid green-white naturalized that populates.
Right, and he has a Fracturing Gust. So he has...
He has answers, but does he have them in his deck?
He has 3 answers. Does he have them in his deck?
I would probably...
Can he draw them?
I probably would not have boarded them in against this deck if I didn't know Worship was in it.
Right.
So, I would have... It's possible that if Spencer hasn't boarded those cards in, he can't win this game. But they also may be in a stalemate here where Spencer gains a bunch of life each turn, Daniel attacks him each turn.
Right, but Daniel's not attacking enough. I think he's being a little bit too conservative. He could be attacking with the Scavenging Ooze.
He should just attack with everything that has power.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he can't die on a crackback, and if Spencer has a disenchant, Daniel's going to be dead anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Here's some tokens.
So it looks like...
They are not technically white-black tokens.
No, they're just white.
They're just white.
Yeah.
But the white-black spirit tokens look pretty cool.
They're nice.
They're like very wraithy.
I have a Haunter, RK post-drawn Haunter tokens
Those
for mine.
are the best
Aren't they?
spirit tokens. Yeah. They're so good.
Okay, so Spencer is up to 34. All right, so
life.
This game has devolved into a degenerate board state. For those of you who are just joining us, this is round 5 of the West Virginia Modern State Championships. We have Spencer on the left playing black-white tokens versus Daniel Mohorski on the right. He's playing Bant Company. And Daniel's at 1, but he has a worship in play, so as long as he has a creature, he won't die. And Spencer's continually adding to his board and activating Vault of the Archangel to give his creatures lifelink, and there's the removal spell for worship. And just as I was explaining the stalemate, Spencer takes the match 2-0 over Daniel. I have to say, maybe... I'm not sure why Spencer brought in the enchantment destruction, but maybe... I actually think there's a chance that Daniel had one... Does Daniel have a worship in his main board?
I didn't see
Let's take a look at the deck lists.
I mean, what was it that he played there? I was not... Was it the Anguished Unmaking?
Daniel doesn't have a worship in his main. I think it was the Anguished Unmaking, yeah. So he knew it. He called him on it, and...
Well, I mean, he has the Anguish Unmaking main boarded, and there's not a huge reason to take it out. So it's possible he had just...
Oh, no, Anguished Unmaking is the white-black...
Yeah, exactly.
It's like the Vindicate.
It's a non-land permanent.
Okay, yeah, it was not Anguished Unmaking.
Okay.
What's Hour of Reckoning?
Good question. I'm not sure.
I'm going to look that one up. Hour of Reckoning. That may have been the card. No. Hour of Reckoning is the Convoke spell that destroys all non-token creatures.
Oh, man.
Well, anyways, Spencer had the answer to the worship, and the Church of Daniel Mohorski fell around its foundation, so advancing Spencer to 2-0 in the match and 4-1 overall, we believe. He's in a great position to make top 8. Depending on how everything falls, Daniel may or may not be out of it. We're going to kick it back to the booth. Hey, guys.
Hello.
We are just wrapping up round 5. The timer's about to go off downstairs, so we're not going to have another match for this round. But we will be back soon.
Very soon.
With round number 6. I don't know about you, but I think I need some caffeine.
Oh, yeah, I've needed caffeine since maybe round 2. So
yeah. Because we've covered 5 rounds and we have 5 more to go.
5 more to go, guys. So hang in
strong
there with us, those of you who are still with us on Twitch and YouTube.
Yes. I was about to say, if you're watching on Facebook, our Facebook stream is down. Go to Twitch. But you can't see that if you were watching on Facebook. Right. So, yeah. So we do have our stream still up on Twitch and YouTube. We'll be here the rest of the day. We have 2 more rounds of Swiss plus a cut to top 8 to cover. And I also have a metagame breakdown to go over.
Oh boy, yeah, the metagame breakdown.
Okay.
Let's do it.
So how much did you look at this? Because
I looked at it. I talked with Ryan Wolf downstairs quite a bit when he was putting the finishing touches on it.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'll just briefly go over it and throw your comments in as we go. So we have 66 players here at the state championships, which
it's the most I've seen since I've been here.
It's our largest event in a while.
Well, there can only be one state champion.
You can. We will slowly but surely whittle it down from 66 to 1.
Yeah.
All right. So our highest represented deck with 8 copies. First of all, we have 39 unique archetypes being represented. So about almost 2/3 of the field. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's quite a lot.
How many Magic tournaments do you have with that many players where there's 39 different decks? That's
not many, especially the higher level ones.
Mm-hmm.
Pro
and this
up
is
there. They all run the same decks.
For West Virginia, this is a pretty competitive event. This is about yeah. All right, so highest represented deck with 8 copies. Burn.
Love it. Well, okay, so I love Burn. I don't know if I love 8 copies of Burn dominating the meta. Burn is sweet. Burn is fun.
I don't know about dominate. I think there's either 2 or 3 players who are undefeated or X-1.
They're doing really good.
Yeah, there are several of these Burn players who are doing well. Not all 8 of them, thankfully. How would you guys like it if we came up with top 8? All right, so in the quarterfinals, match 1, Burn versus Burn. Match 2, Burn versus Burn. Match 3, Burn versus Burn. Match 4, Burn versus Burn. No, it'd be. What would be great though, maybe, is 7 Burn players and 1 Soul Sisters player.
8 Burn to the top 8 though. That's funny enough that maybe people outside the state would talk about it. Maybe that would generate a little bit.
We might have an article written about us or something.
Yeah. Where they're like, "Oh, West Virginia state champions took 8 Burn decks to top 8."
All right, moving on down the line, we have 2 players on Bant Eldrazi. 2 players on Jeskai Nahiri Control. 2 players on Jeskai Nahiri-less Control. 2 players on Jeskai Saheeli. So they're playing the Saheeli-Rai combo.
So there's 6 Jeskai decks.
There's 6, and those. Then we also, I think we have some
more. So Jeskai's popular, maybe more popular than Burn. It's just there's a little more variety.
There's definitely more variety because I would imagine most of the Burn players are playing Naya. Or maybe like red-white.
Right.
Yeah. All right, moving. I'm going over all our multiples. We have 3 people playing Merfolk, 2 playing Death Shadow, which is surprising because that's kind of the big deck in
It's a hot deck right now.
Yeah. 4 playing Affinity, 2 playing Grish Shoalbrand, including Paul Mills, who we just saw on camera this round.
Yeah.
3 on Elves, 3 on Jund, and actually that's kind of low for Jund. I might have expected a few more.
It's low for Jund, and it's a little high for Affinity. We don't see Affinity too much around
in
here.
In our local meta, meaning Morgantown, Fairmont specifically, we don't have.
Really?
There's a couple people who have it, but they don't really play it.
Right.
But in other parts of the state, I think it's more popular.
Okay.
And also, it's not really an F&M deck. Because if you bring Affinity to F&M every week, then people are just going to put like their Stony Silences and their Shatter Storms in their sideboard.
That's true, yeah.
It's kind of one of those decks that people like to save for the bigger tournaments. Anyway, moving on down the list. 2 Obzon Company, 3 Grixis Control, which I'd like to get Grixis on camera at some point.
Yeah.
And that's it for the multiples. So the rest of these are all singletons. 1 person playing each of these. Titan Shift, Esper Control. Oh, a 2 green-red Tron. I'm sorry, I missed that.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mark. I'm sorry. Sorry. All right.
We had Mark out earlier, even.
We did. 1 green-white Tron, 1 Ad Nauseam, 1 Eldrazi Tron, 1 Goblins, 1 black-red Control. That's interesting.
Black-red Control.
Yeah, we're gonna have to, if we don't get that.
We're gonna have to see who's running.
Yeah, if we don't get them on camera, I at least want to take a look at the deck list.
Yeah, for sure.
1 mono blue Tron, 1 black white tokens, which was Spencer, who we just saw win his match. 1 Sun and Moon, who we had that player on earlier. That's the red white prison deck with Planeswalkers. We have 1 Breachscape, 1 4-color Company, which actually I think that was Daniel. I don't think he was Bant. I think he was 4. No. We have 1 Bant player, which was Daniel, and then we have another one who's playing 4-color.
Yeah.
We have the Lannis Special.
What on earth could that be?
I think we have to talk to Lannis.
We have to...
Oh, no, excuse me. That's Louis. That's the Louis special. Okay, so that's Louis.
Oh, we know.
That's all we need to say about that. All right, one person playing traditional Scape Shift. One person on Thopter Gifts. We have 2 Dredge players. I missed that one as well. One playing the Hardened Scales variant of Affinity, which, if that player is doing well, I would like to get them on camera. That's pretty interesting. And then we have a different red-white prison deck. We have Greentron, a mill deck.
Yeah, Ryan told me that we had a mill deck there.
And then our final deck is Jun's cousin, Abzan Midrange.
Yeah.
So, pretty diverse.
Definitely. Well, lots of Tron.
Yeah, but
lots of different versions of Tron.
It used to be, when I played Modern a lot, like a couple years ago, I played a lot of Modern, and everybody played green-red. You occasionally saw mono-blue.
Yeah.
But now you've got, sometimes I saw blue-white, but now you've got green-white, green-black, green-red, mono-blue, blue-white,
Eldrazi,
black-white. Jeremy Harmon was playing black-white at FNM a couple nights ago.
Whoa.
Eldrazi Tron, like you said. Like, the meta is, after these recent bannings, the meta is really diversified, which I like.
Yeah, I think the Grix, the Gitaxian Probe ban hit a lot of the really fast aggro decks other than Burn.
Yeah,
which I think...
The non-interactive, like, Death Shadow Infect.
Death Shadow Infect, they definitely dropped off. And I think that opened the door for Tron to step in.
Opened the door for Tron and some of the other slower, more fair decks.
Yeah.
Which I like. I love seeing this huge, diverse meta.
Yeah. And I'll say it. I hate Gitaxian Probe. I hate that card. I thought that card was bad for the meta. Yeah. So
throwing shade, Kurt and I throwing shade on Gitaxian Probe.
I was very happy when that ban.
Jen Cataxis is going to come down from New Phyrexia and eat your soul
if he can get out.
Because they're trapped.
No, I didn't like it, man. I played against a bunch of Death Shadows decks when I did play, and a bunch of Infect decks when I did play, and it's like, oh. Turn 1, let me look at your hand, let me draw a million cards, let me play this, whatever. It does what Death Shadow does, which is like, it's fine.
Right.
I don't like it.
So, I'm going to quote something that I heard that rang a lot of truth with me from Ian Duke, who's from Wizards R&D. He was doing legacy coverage for Grand Prix Seattle Tacoma a couple of years ago. And somebody was playing with Gitaxian Probe, and he commented that he did not like Gitaxian Probe from a game design standpoint because that the intention behind Magic was that both players had hidden information from each other.
Right.
And that it was okay to have spells and abilities that made you look at your opponent's hand, but to do it for no mana and only 2 life was just too good.
Yeah, and
it just kind of fundamentally breaks. Yes, and you draw cards.
That's nuts.
Just kind of fundamentally breaks the game.
Yeah,
and it's more manageable in a format like Legacy where you have more powerful things going on. But in Modern,
Legacy, it's fine.
Yeah,
I mean, cantrips are already pretty powerful. Phyrexian mana shouldn't exist.
Probably not.
So I feel like Gitaxian Probe I think is the poster child for everything wrong with Phyrexian mana.
Probably. Mental Misstep was pretty bad.
I forget about Mental...
We forget about it because it's always been banned since the inception of this format.
Mental Misstep is locked away in a dark part of my mind.
Never ever come out.
I try to forget that it exists.
Alright, Lightning Bolt. Alright, I'm going to misstep your Lightning Bolt. I'm going to misstep your misstep. Well, misstep your misstep. Well, misstep your misstep.
Oh, and by the way, I'm playing mono green.
Yeah, I'm playing mono green. Judge, resolve our stack. Our stack we've misstepped on our stack. Like, this is ridiculous. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Wait. Oh man.
All right. So I think let's wrap it up.
Yeah.
Let's go grab some caffeine. We'll be right back with round number 6. Thank you very much for watching, guys. One more time, I'm Ryan.
And I'm Kurt.
We'll be RB.